Thank you for joining us today on Millennial Talk, where we'll discuss issues affecting millennials and give recommendations on how to deal with them. In the past few weeks, we've discussed a range of issues from millennial participation in the stock market to business to entertainment. And today will be no different when it comes to sharing insights and giving new insights to things that you never even thought of. My name is Bukunmi Adejobi, and with me is
Josephine, Eriyo.
Yes, today we'll be talking about renewable energy, and Nigeria is used to taking advantage of the conventional energy resources available from coal to crude oil to gas. But there are renewable energy sources such as wind, solar, and biomass, and Nigeria has hardly taken advantage of these renewable energy sources. The world is moving away from crude oil. The world is looking at more renewable energy sources that protects the environment, climate change, and all of those things. And as Nigerians, I believe, and as millennials, I believe that this is a sector where we should actually look at, in terms of opportunities for millennials, because at the end of the day, we're the one who's going to be inhabiting the earth, in the long run. 90%, the former energy minister, Fashola, said that, or projected that 90% of Nigerian population should have access to electricity, and that electricity, about 30% of it should be from renewable energy sources. But what is the statistics saying today? I'm not sure we're quite close to that yet.
You're quite right. You actually mentioned renewable energy sources and it not being properly utilized in Nigeria, and I truly believe that, because there's a lot we're not tapping into when it comes to the renewable energy source. And when it comes to these sources, they can be used to power cars, they can be used for cooking and manufacturing and the likes. And we also believe that there are a lot of opportunities for millennials to tap into, because there are different, forms of energy. So to discuss and answer all of these questions, we have with us Segun Adaju, President, Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm Dr. Segun Adaju, the President of the Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria. I'm a former banker, and I'm also the CEO of Solar Direct. So how did I get into the energy space? As a banker, I'm an economist, by the way. So I read economics and MBA from the University of Lagos. Okay, but I got interested in creating energy access for small businesses, because I found out that many small businesses, many households in Nigeria use generators. So by the national grid, I had the introduction you gave. Yes, so by year 2030, Nigeria is expected to generate 30,000 megawatts, 30% of which should be from renewables. Yes, and by that period, 90% of Nigerians should have been electrified. Yes. But unfortunately, right now, we have only about 59% of Nigerians connected to national grid. So it's still a far cry from the figure that the former minister, put forward. Yeah. And averagely, we generate about 5,000 megawatts for a population of over 200 million people. By international benchmark and standard, we should be generating 200,000 megawatts. So there's a huge gap between the energy that is demanded and the energy that is supplied to Nigerians. So I got interested in alternatives. That how can I displace generators and replace with a cleaner, cheaper, and more efficient energy system? And that's why I got into the solar space. So I made that shift from banking into energy. A lot of people ask me, how did you do it? You're not an engineer. But for me, I just saw a problem that needed solution. As an entrepreneur, you create solution to solve a problem, and then you mobilize all the resources that is required. So I put together a finance team, a technical team, a sales team, operation team, and then set up a company to provide energy to Nigerians, particularly SMEs. So that's how I go into the energy space.
Thank you very much, sir, for that robust explanation. So the thing is, would like to know, is it that what kind of products do you give? Especially you mentioned SME. So what kind of renewable energy products do you would like to say manufacture? And do you think Nigeria is like a business, or there's a demand for renewable energy sources in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you. So my company, Solar Direct, by its name, I mean, we're focused more on solar power.
Solar power, okay.
And so what we don't manufacture yet, but we're planning to get into manufacturing in 2-3 years' time, and manufacturing locally. Okay, so we deploy solar power to replace generators. And it's very simple. A system contains of solar panels, inverter, and batteries. And what we do is we do an energy audit of our customer to know their appliances that they power, and then we design a solution that fits what they need. Okay, and that's just it. But like I said, very soon we'll be manufacturing our systems in Nigeria. And in terms of the market, I can tell you the market is very huge. Okay. Nigeria has the biggest market for renewable energy technologies in sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay, so that's interesting. But looking at the north is I would say it's a very potential, has huge potential when it comes to solar energy. But we're not really seeing developments in those areas. They're so focused on maybe farming, or maybe animal husbandry and livestock farming and all of those things. But there's wind, there's sunlight. So what are the challenges that are involved in that we're seeing in the country as to how they're not actually able to, would I say, take advantage of this natural resource to create energy?
Okay, so the market in Nigeria, we can say, is nascent. So it started, I got into this space in 2012 as a consultant with the Bank of Industry. And I've seen a major shift between when I got into the space and where we are right now. So yes, a whole lot of opportunities. I mean, Nigeria with over 923 square kilometers of land space where you can deploy solar anywhere. It's estimated that if you can only put solar in just 1% of that land mass, we'll be able to power Nigeria. So yes, huge resources in the north. But let me also tell you that we've seen some improvements, some traction in what companies like my own company, Solar Direct, and other companies in Nigeria are doing. So there are two market segments. There's what we call the on-grid renewables, and then the off-grid. A lot of focus is on off-grid right now. Off-grid is, you install that system in that location. It's not connected to national grid. So my house in Lagos now has run for about 9 years on solar power. I mean, that's, standalone. But there are also attempts by the government of Nigeria to deploy massive solar farms in the north of Nigeria. So there are 14 companies that has been given licenses to generate, we call it solar farms, average of about 100 megawatts each, a total of about 1,215 megawatts. 13 of those companies are in the northern part of Nigeria. There's only one that is in the southern part, in Enugu. So there's huge opportunity. However, some of the constraints we're having is a long talk, but let me just give one or two. Number one, security. So there's some security challenges in the northern part of Nigeria where those projects are threatened. I mean, you're aware of kidnappings and banditry. Yeah, so it's really affecting project developers. In one or two sites, some engineers have been kidnapped in the past. So everybody just down tools and move back to their country. Also, the market in Nigeria, which is the electricity market generally, has issues of what we call liquidity. The challenge of liquidity is seen as not cost reflective. So they feel that the cost of generating energy in Nigeria is higher than the returns they're going to get because the prices are not determined by market forces. It's a long debate, I mean, that we can get into another day.
What happens with the normal electricity grid? People feel like they are being overcharged and all of those things. So someone might not even think of solar power if they can't even afford to pay for normal hydro generated power.
But their business model, right? And that's one of those things that we do to make it, we call it affordability. So let me also, tell you, a lot of people don't agree to this. Nigeria has, power in Nigeria is cheap to some extent. Nigeria has one of the cheapest electricity tariff rates in the world. I mean, for millennials like you, I mean, who's traveled far and wide, when you get to the UK, everybody's, if I can use that word, everybody's micing their energy. You have to put off that light bulb. You can't put on light bulb like you do in Nigeria. You have to switch up and use the energy efficiency stock. But in solar, what we have done is to create affordability. So we deploy solar power for SMEs and allow them to pay in bits. They pay on weekly basis or monthly basis. So it's not too heavy on their financial flows, and then it creates affordability. So there are business models that has made that possible.
Okay, so when it comes to this sector, I believe that whenever a sector is underutilized, education has a very large role to play. So what do you think the role of education is in helping to foster the growth of the renewable energy sector? And how do you think we can move past this challenge? Because I believe that even as much as there are a few of us who know about these markets, there's also a larger number of people who are very unaware of all of these resources.
Let me put it on that capacity. So both education, awareness, because many people don't even know that solar power exists or it works efficiently. I mean, when I take people to my house in Lagos that 9 years I've been running on solar, they think it's fairy tale, right? Mm-hmm. So I have to bring them in to have that feel. Now, we need to do a lot of awareness, and I must give it to Web TV. I know I've appeared a few times trying to talk about solar power, and so we need to create that buzz. I mean, so that people are aware that there's alternative power. There's what we call renewable energy. The rural women, the market woman, the rural folks who have an understanding that aside that generator called like better pass my neighbor, there's a solar power that can provide energy. So that awareness needs to be created. And I believe, millennials, yourself, you have that responsibility. You guys are very powerful on social media. With one post, you can get 1 million, views and likes. So we need to deploy that a whole lot. Secondly, we need to also infuse renewable energy technologies in the educational curriculum of Nigeria. So in the universities, we need to, right from secondary school. I know in those days I did some level of integrated science in my primary school. Yeah, so we need to begin to talk about solar, renewable energy, wind, biomass at that tender age, and people should begin to take interest in getting that knowledge. I know that a few universities in Nigeria are doing that, and I must also tell you that the successes that we have recorded in this sector in Nigeria have been dominated by millennials. Interestingly, I have some very young guys, and I will mention one young man called Ifeanyi Orajaka. He started as a university undergraduate at Futo, that's Owerri. Today is the largest developer of mini grids in West Africa. Young boy. So if we go to to that extent of starting from the universities, undergraduate levels, and educating people, let them go and take courses, let them know that it's a viable way to create wealth. You can make money and also do good, right? Help Nigeria to empower themselves. So I agree. Education is very, very, very important. And it starts with what we're doing here, creating awareness on renewable energy technologies.
Yeah, but I have a bit of a problem. I have tried out a bit of maybe the solar panels and the inverters, and I've come to see that when it comes to quality of production, when it comes to some of these devices, they're not very quality. How do you think that a millennial looking to go into this, what advice would you have to give to them in order to create quality products that could serve people? Because I've tried out very mini solar panels, and these things are not very effective or efficient. So how do we fix this inefficiency when it comes to production of these materials?
Okay, thank you. So that's where the Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria comes in. So we have been working very closely with Standard Organization of Nigeria and some international certification bodies to ensure the standard of products in the country is compared to global benchmarks. I mean, solar is no longer rocket science. It has been proven that it works. So if you can work in Germany, if you can work in India, if you can work in South Africa, why not Nigeria? So I agree. There are some people who would prefer to bring in substandard products and make more money, all right? But there are strict standards now going forward that will control that and ensure that quality products comes in. Number two is to enforce those standards. So we're also working with Standard Organization of Nigeria to enforce. In the Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria, we are beginning to penalize any of our members who deploys a substandard product. As a matter of fact, we don't allow it, right? And then we have the Rural Electrification Agency also, who is working seriously in that space. So if anybody wants to get into that space, for example, I would say, find out, for example, contact maybe the Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria, contact Standard Organization of Nigeria to know what standard do you have in solar power, for example. You can contact the Rural Electrification Agency and know the standards that are acceptable globally, and then work with that. So if I have that means now to deploy solar power for you, I will tell you the standards that I'm giving to you. It comes with minimum of 1 year warranty. It can be up to 5 year warranty. The service level agreement, if it doesn't work, you can call it a warranty. So basic things like that. Gradually over time, I believe Nigerians are beginning to get used to the quality products. I'm seeing more solar panels deployed these days than, 10 years ago. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. At least I believe you encouraged some of us who have tried
it.
Josephine. Because I know people have complained. Because I see sometimes they'll say, "Oh, inverter," and you have to use electricity to charge the inverter. I'm like, okay, so how is this a renewable energy? You still have to use your normal electricity to charge the battery. But anyway, moving on to still talking about batteries, we're seeing that across the world, countries like the UK have come out to say that they're going to stop large importation of crude oil or buying up of crude oil by, I think, 2030 or something like that. I'm not sure I'm very correct with the date, but 2030, they said they're going to stop buying all these things, crude oil in particular. And Nigeria is still heavily dependent on fossil fuel. And we're seeing new across the world moving to electric vehicles, EV, and batteries are like a big thing now. So what are the consequences for Nigeria if they don't move, if we don't transition, if we don't join the train to start to use renewable energy sources?
Okay, yes. To paint that picture very vividly, and I hope it won't be scary. If we don't move along with the world, I think we might just be cut off completely from the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like living on an island where you can't reach anyone. The world is moving towards what we call the net zero. Net zero. Net zero means by year 2050, pollution should be it should be almost off, zero. Okay. There are some countries who have also proposed to, stop any kind of vehicle that uses fossil fuel. Norway, for example, the Nordic countries. Even in Nigeria, we're beginning to see what we call e-mobility, and that's one of the spaces that I wanted to talk to millennials about. There's what the e-mobility, so Nigeria does not have a choice. It's not like so I want to stay by myself. There's a COP26 where we're going to be talking about climate change coming up in Glasgow some few days down the line. So the whole world we already signed the Paris Agreement anyway. We are committed. We have what we call the nationally determined contributions of Nigeria. So Nigeria, we don't have a choice. We have to toe that line. Now, the fear that I have, the worry I have, is that Nigeria is dependent too much on
fossil fuel,
fossil fuel, and the world is moving away from that fossil fuel. Gradually. So I think there was a time when, I think it was during the COVID period, the lockdown, when Nigerian ship full of crude were just roaming on the high sea. Nobody to buy them. In fact, I'm free because, the cost of even keeping them on the high sea, I'm paying, the cost of storage was getting higher than the cost of selling per barrel, right? So it might get to a point where our crude might just be useless. Sorry to you. A very credible opportunity for us to transition. So from crude oil to say gas, then to alternative renewable energy. I'm happy that Nigeria is also making that. But I also know that millennials like yourself, once you put your hand on anything, you disrupt the space completely. Yeah. I mean, you can see what the likes of what's it called? I mean, this fintech companies, exactly. All this floater wave. I mean, you can see what they are doing. You can see what and OP. You know, yeah. So we invite you guys to come in and take over this sector. Yeah.
So my last question for you today would be, you mentioned inviting millennials to come into the sector. So if we are inviting millennials to come into the sector, what can you please highlight a few opportunities? So if I was thinking of going into the renewable energy sector, what are the things that I can do, or what are these opportunities I can tap into?
All right. So renewable energy has its own value chain. We call it value chain. Every sector, every business has value chain, and you can plug in anywhere. So, for example, you can be a solution provider, okay? So you go out, you find out that people have problems. You sit down and design a solution that will solve that problem. And then you deploy the technology and you make money for yourself. So you can either be, for example, a renewable energy project developer. You can be someone like me who deploys solar power. Be someone that is deploying mini grid, if I mentioned. And there are so much funds available out there. You can be a manager. You can be somebody who is sales and sales departments. Okay, required. You can be somebody providing digital marketing services, right? To showcase what companies are doing. Graphic artists, even as low as graphic artists, are very well needed in the sector. Yeah. You can be an engineer. You can be a lawyer. We have energy lawyers also. You can be an advocate. You can set up an NGO, for example, to advocate for awareness and education. We have a young lady also, a millennial also, who after graduating from a school in the UK, came back to Nigeria, Gloria, I've forgotten her surname now, and set up a training institute. I mean, Gloria, so she's training young people on solar power installation. She's going to schools, primary schools. She's written a few books to educate young ones about. So it's a huge portfolio of opportunities. I'll be very happy to say, look, how can we connect with millennials? I mean, if there's a group, we can do a handshake between, yourself and old people like us and the association and say, look, how can we transition? Because I still also believe very strongly that the millennials are the ones that will take this beyond what we can ever think of. They are the ones that are techy. They are the ones that are fast thinking. They are the ones that can develop solutions and then incorporate technology. There's a huge need for technology incorporation into energy delivery in Nigeria. And millennials have the ace, no doubt about that.
Thank you very much, sir, for the insight and giving us, options into other, sources of income, and especially looking at the unemployment rate in Nigeria currently. So I believe that renewable energy is actually an opportunity for those who are probably looking for jobs or who have, who are looking for an extra income. You mentioned sales. For companies, especially companies that need the exposure, that need the, like I said, the millennial energy, into this sector. So you can go out there, teach children, give, talks on renewable energy, because many people don't really know about it. Thank you very much, sir, for the insight you have given us on this conversation. Is there anything that you like to add that you feel like we've not touched and you want millennials to know about?
Yes, I mean, I think so far so good. This is a good start, and I would say well done to the interest you are showing. We're happy to have people like you getting into this space. There are also issues around climate change, So we're trying to reduce emission. The issues around poverty. In fact, there's what we call the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, 17 of them. Energy and renewable energy access is a critical foundation for the delivery of the SDGs. And I look forward to engaging further, and I'm very happy to see how we can create some leverage for millennials in this sector.
Yes, thank you very much. I'll be happy to share our knowledge. We'll be happy to cover any of the events that you have and
and give more exposure.
Yes, and give more exposure, especially for millennials for renewable energy.
Absolutely, I'll be available for that.
Have a great day.
Have a great day, sir.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, for more information on the stock market and the financial market, you can visit our website, www.proshareng.com.
And please don't forget to watch all our previous episodes if you haven't, caught up. Thank you for watching.
Bye.